Hello and welcome to my UFC 284 card review and predictions for the Perth, Australia card featuring the main event of Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski for the lightweight championship. So to get started looking at this fight, I am in a similar position to the one I was in going into the Charles fight. I didn't really speak about that here at all, but I do think Islam on paper going into it is looking like he would win. And I did take Charles in that fight, but yeah, Islam showed that his grappling was too much, and on the feet as well, he showed that he's not a person to be overlooked. And yeah, Islam's just shown he's very good and he has a lot of potential to be one of the greatest lightweights ever. Despite not really having faced too many high-level people in his division, he did face Charles and beat him, which is quite an accomplishment. And the rankings don't really mean too much at the end of the day, so all that being said, I think Alexander is going to win. I think and hope it. I like Volkanovski. I think he's a well-spoken, cool dude, and I don't know. Just seeing him get out of that guillotine against Ortega and seeing him outclass Max on the feet the way he did, I just think Volk's going to somehow get it done. We have number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound here, and I think Volkanovski's going to become a double champ, and I think that's the more intriguing storyline going into the future, so that's what I am hoping for. So yeah, for the first fight, I predict Alexander Volkanovski to win. But next up, we have the interim featherweight championship on the line since the champion's gone for a while. We have Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Now, my mind really says Josh Emmett's going to win this, and I'm quite split on this one. I just feel like Josh Emmett's going to win, and honestly, the fight between Josh Emmett and Volkanovski does kind of intrigue me a bit more than a Yair Rodriguez fight with Volkanovski, but looking at their ages and just trying to make a smart decision here, I'm going to go with Yair. I'm not confident on this at all. At all, but Josh Emmett, I think, has a very good chance of winning. He's getting up there in age. He's like 37 or 38 now, and I mean, we'll see. This one's a tough call, but yeah, I got Yair. Next up, Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown. This one is going to probably be a good fight, but at the end of the day, I think this is a fight for Maddalena to win. And yeah, it's in Australia. He's a rising star. I wouldn't call him a rising star because there's obviously like rising stars like Paddy Pimblett and Ian Gary, but he's a guy that they're putting a lot of effort and promotion into, considering he's just fighting at a lower level at the moment. So yeah, I'll take Jack Maddalena. Next up, we have Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. I am quite split on this one. Looking at both of their histories, Porter usually wins his fights, at least lately, by a decision, and he loses early for KOs. He's susceptible to getting hit early, and that's exactly the opposite of Justin Tafa, who gets his wins by hitting people early and loses by decision. So I think if this goes past the first round, it's probably a Porter win. That being said, Porter's getting up there in age as well, and whenever I'm kind of split on these kind of fights, I like to take the younger guy, so Justin Tafa, I'll take him. Plus, this is in his area, New Zealand, Australia, very close to each other, so yeah, I think the UFC, I don't know. I just think Justin Tafa is going to get this one done. And finally, for the main card, we have Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. This one, I'm slightly less confident about, but I do have a sure pick, and I'm going with Jimmy Crute here. Menifield has lost in like a year and a half ago to William Knight, and Knight's not like the highest level guy. He's kind of like a gatekeeper for guys who can see themselves fighting into the top 15 of the light heavyweight division. So yeah, I think Jimmy Crute, after that leg break, is trying to get back on track. He hasn't fought in a while, and I think this is a fight that'll get him back into it back into the game. He's still pretty young as well, so yeah, I'll take Jimmy Crute here. Moving on to the prelims, we have Tyson Pedro versus Modestas Bacchus. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. Not that anyone cares. But yeah, I'm going with Pedro here. I don't know. It's a close fight. And yeah, I'm just going to take the hometown dude. Pedro's quite the sizable favorite, minus 250. So yeah, I don't really know too much about these dudes. So I'm just going to take Pedro. Next up, we have Josh Kulibo versus Melsik Bagashadar Sarian. These names, man, they're tough. But yeah, this is another fight that I'm kind of struggling to pick a winner in. I could see it going either way. This is, in my prediction at least, going to be a good fight. I think this is probably going to be a back and forth, pretty close one. Both dudes are pretty good on the feet, but I don't know, man. Something about these European fighters lately, they are good. So I'll take the Armenian guy, Melsik Bagashdarsarian. Next up, we got Shannon Ross, a debuting fighter, versus Clydeson Rodriguez. And I think I'm going to take the debuting guy here, actually. Rodriguez does have, on paper, a slightly more appealing looking record, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just taking Shannon Ross. Don't really know much about him either. He's an Australian guy debuting here, so maybe he has something more to him than just what his record dictates. So yeah, I'll take him. Next up at lightweight, we have Jamie Malarkey versus Francisco Pedro. And here I will take Malarkey. There's not really any information here about Francisco, so yeah, I'll stick with what I know, and I'll say Malarkey gonna win it. Moving on to the early prelims, we have Jack Jenkins versus Don Shanis. Shanis? Yeah, I'll go with Shanis. But yeah, I won't go with Shanis in my prediction. I'll actually go with Jack Jenkins, the debuting fighter here. His record's slightly better looking, and Shanis is coming off a loss, so I'll take the debuting Australian every day, baby. Next up, we have Loma Lukambumi versus Elise Reed. And I'm kind of split on this one because, for one, it's women's MMA. Because fights are kind of harder to predict when it comes to WMMA. So, yeah. I'll still take Lukambumi, though. Because, for one, she's a big favorite. And two, just looking at them, I don't know. I feel like Lukembumi's gonna mess this chick up. Plus, she's from Thailand. She probably got some nice hands. That's something I always look for with a women's fighter, if they know how to use their hands or grapple specifically really well. Because that's kind of the era I think WMA is in currently with its evolution. It's kind of where if you have one specialty where you're like really good at that one thing, it's going to be tough to get over you. And if you can use that one thing and then also add other stuff onto that, I think that's what makes success so possible for like Valentina Shevchenko's and even Amanda Nunes. She has a nice ground game. Got choked out by Juliana Pena, but we're going to ignore that. She quit in that fight. But yeah, Lukembumi's who I'm taking here. Moving on, we have Shane Young versus Blake Builder. Bob. Is this guy related to Bob the Builder? Let me know. But yeah, I'll take the descendant of Bob the Builder. Shane Young kind of looks to me like a guy who's gonna lose. I don't know. No offense, Shane Young, but yeah. Moving on, we have Zubaria Tukhugov versus Elves Brenner. I don't know, man. Okay. I'll take the Russian though. This guy probably trains with Islam and that's why he's on the card or something. I don't know. I'll take the Russian though. And that concludes my predictions. So as far as the card goes, looking at it on paper, it's not the most exciting card. There's obviously a lot of Australians on it, which is cool for the people who are going to see the show and are from Australia. They have some people to get behind, I guess. But yeah, on paper, this card, not the most exciting. You know, it could have probably benefited from that Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa fight not falling through, but yeah, I'm still excited for it. The main event is a great fight. Just cheesed waiting for that one. I don't even know if that's the proper way to use the word cheesed. I don't say cheesed very often, but yeah, exciting card, and I can't wait. That being said, let me know what you guys think down below. Any predictions you have, or if you agree and disagree, go ahead and let me know. And peace, guys.